What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we need to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility, and where I see things going. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. Starting off with this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are all going to be largely linked to the technicals, as well as a couple of Fed speakers, and dependent on what they do say, that's going to be instantly correlated with interest rate cuts. No different than last week. This is literally the only thing that the market does want right now is cuts. Thursday, you do have GDP, and on Friday, PCE. Once again, all going to be correlated with cuts. So right now, for the September 18th meeting, you do have a 58.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. That's gone down a little bit. I believe on Friday, it was at 60.5, if I remember correctly. So it's gone down slightly, and then 6.3% of a likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. And this seems to be the only thing that the market does generally care about right now. So once again, just watch for the data points. As of right now, the fear and greed index is at 41, so people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily there. So once again, if there is a lot of negativity in the broader market, you are going to see a lot of stocks just get dragged down as a byproduct of that. And SoFi right now doesn't have anything planned for this upcoming week, so no news, no fireside chats, nothing along those lines. So it is just going to be, for the most part, piggybacking off of the broader market. And shorts are going to be very active once again this week, kind of just taking advantage of a lot of the data, and once again depends on the data points. They'll either kind of increase back to maybe around that 18 to 19% range, or potentially retrace back to the 16. Currently, it is sitting at 17.59%. Friday, shorts did increase 129,000 shares, 182.65 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost per average 1.03, then utilization 72.95. So kind of interesting stuff when it comes down to SoFi. And one thing I just wanted to bring up before I go over options and some other data points. So earlier today, I did put out a video, the top 5 most heavily shorted meme stocks. So I did use this website for reference just to kind of determine what is a meme stock. And in here kind of goes over a lot of the general ones that everyone thinks of, such as GameStop, AMC, a couple others such as Children's Place and Rocket Lab that I wouldn't really anticipate to be top 5. But when I was scrolling, I saw number 10 as SoFi. So it has a meme score of 88, Wall Street Bets score of 92, and a fails to deliver score of 84. So this is where kind of made me wonder, it's like, what the hell, why is SoFi being considered a meme stock? So this is my question to you guys. Do you think SoFi is a meme? I get it. Their stock price absolutely is horrible, what's been happening over this last little bit, but I wouldn't really consider SoFi a meme stock. And it's kind of funny how Wall Street kind of thinks that SoFi is a bank. And based on this, I was actually just looking at the chart, so I'm sure some of you may already have saw this, but you do have Bank of America, Citi, and JPM, right? So a lot of the big banks. Over this last 1 month, SoFi is down 11%. Bank of America pretty much flat, Citi down 7%, and JPM down 1% or 1.5%. So kind of weird. Wall Street keeps saying that SoFi is like a bank or nothing more than a bank, whereas based on this, kind of says otherwise. And then you have this website saying that SoFi is basically no more than just a meme stock. I don't know. What is your guys' thoughts on SoFi? Do you think it's just maybe, I don't know, like a fintech that people love to hate on, or just shorts find it as infinite money? Like, I don't know. What's your thoughts when it comes down to SoFi? And so, yeah, I just wanted to bring this up, kind of found it abnormal. But yeah, moving on from here though, no analyst ratings over this last little bit. So last one was done 9 days ago, $12 price target, Mizuho, Dan, who has a 50% success rating. And when I started to see that website that I just brought up on kind of calling SoFi a meme stock, over this last 2 weeks, any fintech that's received a very bullish rating has gone up like crazy. And except SoFi, right? So SoFi gets this $12 price target, and I looked, it actually didn't do jack all. If anything, it kind of just stayed flat or stagnant, if not down. So this is where it's really messed up. So at what stage do you think that SoFi is going to go higher from here? So let me know your thoughts on that. And based on the Elliott wave technicals going into this week, it does have a pivot point of $6.73. For as long as it is below that, then it is anticipated to get between that kind of 550 range to 560. So not necessarily the best, like I said, but when it comes down to SoFi for this week, you should see a lot of buying. So these are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. I did bring this up in my previous video that I did on Friday. So you see a couple big ones, 6.32 million, 6.3, threes, and many others. So quite a lot of transactions, and that should actually continue this week because this is the last week in Q2. So you're going to have a lot of institutions and ETFs rebalancing their portfolio. And especially with SoFi kind of underperforming the broader market, you are going to see as a byproduct a lot of institutions being kind of forced to buy SoFi. So that should really give SoFi a nice good level of support, if that kind of makes sense, coming from institutions. But when it comes to options though, this has definitely been one thing to really watch for when it comes to SoFi, because behind the options is market makers and shorts, and that's just a lot of manipulation. As I brought up in the past, that's kind of the cycle of life when it comes to SoFi. But for this upcoming Friday, June the 28th, you already do start to see a wall at that 650 mark. So currently 11,000 at that 650 for open interest, 18,000 at the 7, and then 43,000 at the 750. As I always say, typically the first trading day in the week, you see a bump up in at least the closest strike price by about 40%, give or take. So it is fair to assume that come Monday close, this will be roughly around 15 to maybe 16,000. So let me know your thoughts on that. So this is going to be another week that SoFi has a lot of resistance above it. And right now with it closing at $6.32, it is trading between this S3 and this S2. So 607 is going to be that next strong support, and then vice versa, $6.45 is going to be the next strong target / resistance point. And so right now 645 is going to be the next point to watch for, and then above that is going to be 650. 650 is clearly linked to the options, and that's just where you're going to see shorts being a little bit more active. So in my opinion, given the amount of buying that will be happening from institutions this week, and based on what happened a little bit on Thursday as well as Friday, the positive momentum for at least to go up higher, this is where you could see it touch this S2, and then dependent on the data that comes out in the week and possibly even what the Fed say, this is where it could potentially trade above this range. But you're going to see shorts very active. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Give yourself a shout out. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with SoFi? My last buy was on Friday, so I did buy, kind of got caught up in the FOMO, especially it bouncing off of that 620 range. So I did buy 200 shares at $6.30, but well, again, let me know your thoughts. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.